Sayyidi, what is the process of releasing the karma one is undergoing?
Yeah, this from other beliefs or this something different? The destiny of what's written for people and what they inherited from their family lineage, then it's all through tawbah, istighfar and good character and good actions. So that's why then the tariqahs, awrads are making istighfar all day long at the beginning of the day, making lots of istighfar. Astaghfirullah al-azim wa atubu ilayk is a tremendous cleansing for me, for my family, for all those who didn't ask for forgiveness. Once my istighfar cleans me, then it begins to clean all my children and my community, my family. That's a tremendous cleansing all day long. Then my good deeds and my good actions, they come in my life to cleanse every type of difficulty and my charity. Nothing is more powerful than the charity of insan. We said before that when a person dies and they meet Allah, Allah's saying in Qur'an, the first thing their soul will ask, Allah, let me go back to give all my wealth in charity. Not that, can I go back and make up my prayers? Can I go back and do a couple more hajj? Can I go back and fast more Ramadan? But can I go back and give everything in charity to be from salihin? Why? Because it had an immense reality on the purification of the soul. And that's what Allah wanted for us to understand, is that purify your soul, purify and perfect your character. All of that saves us from every type of difficulty. So, and the love of Sayyidina Muhammad with all that good character, and then the immensities of making salawat and durood sharif on Sayyidina Muhammad, again then there's a shield that is not, the badness cannot penetrate that shield of muhabbat and love and good character, inshaAllah.
And the child inherits the sins of the father. That's one of the nice dressings that the parents give. It's carried on to them and inherited onto the child. That's one. So those difficulties and what the father did then is dressed upon the child. And that's why you have to know the child by his father, right? So that you identify who this child is before you adopt them. Who is the father of this? Because that father, if he was in difficulty and did bad things, that child is inheriting that badness and that difficulty. And the sins and the grave sins, the horrific sins, they don't go away, they don't just vanish because the person left. They're moving towards the families and the recipients. So it's not only cash that people get from people when they die, but you take their burdens and their sins and what they've done on this earth. Then the understanding again of jinn, the unseen nations, their life is 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years. If you should harm them, their fight with you could be hundreds of generations, because we live 60 years, 70, 80 years. 10 generations is not even 800 years. So you can see how that one is still alive and he's still angry. So just keep coming, and that's why you see many families with many difficulties that just seem to pass from generation to generation. But for that unseen world, that was not even a lifetime for them. So yes, those are understood realities, and they can be altered by Allah guiding. And that's when we say there's immense blessings when Allah wants to guide a servant. If He wants to guide the servant and break the difficulty of that inheritance, He guides them to the hands of awliyaullah. And by means of that guidance then they can intercede to block that damage and that difficulty. That this whole understanding of the jinn world was based on humans not knowing their real strength. But shaitan knows how strong humans are. So they become powerful by your worshipping. So when the jinns wanted to become more powerful, they got the humans to worship them. As a result of your unknown power, you would put it onto them and they became more powerful. So if their power was this big, when you worship them they became this big and you shrunk in your reality. So it means that many realities of what they're trying to do and impose upon human beings But when Allah wants the perfected connection is that focus on Allah, focus on Sayyidina Muhammad, make your connections with the shaykhs so that they take you to the sultanate of Sayyidina Muhammad. And that's when we say there's immense blessings when Allah wants to guide a servant. If He wants to guide the servant and break the difficulty of that inheritance, He guides them to the hands of awliyaullah. And by means of that guidance then they can intercede to block that damage and that difficulty. And that's a najat from Allah to that child and to all the descendants. When Allah guides that child, if they had generational difficulties coming to them, just imagine then the haqqaiq and the rahmah of Allah. Because as soon as He guides the child they immediately intercede with this love and this ishq of Sayyidina Muhammad. And it's all Qur'an because Allah says, I would never punish them while you are amongst them and they're asking for forgiveness. So when you are with a Muhammadiyun you are in the light of Sayyidina Muhammad's presence. Means then when they took the hand of the shaykh, the Muhammadan dress is now around that servant. As a result they're teaching them, make tawbah and istighfar, make lots of salawats so that this ayatul kareem begin to dress and intercede for you. So you see how the teaching always goes back to Allah, it's Allah. Through the guidance Allah wants a system in which to bring them back. Now the Qur'an will intercede for you because you're with the Muhammadiyun and you're making your istighfar. Now the Qur'an is activated upon you and it begin to intercede from ayatul kareem that your punishment stops. As a result of your punishment stopping, what happens? All your hasanat begins to dress your father, right? Because the amal of a child is brought up by the angels and the angels say, who's his Abu? Who's his father? So that the dress of his actions now dresses his father and relieves him from any difficulty within the grave or any accounts that he's having within the heaven.
जीन्स और गिटार, मोहल्ले की वो छत और मेरे यार, वो रातों को जागना, सुबह घर जाना, कूद के दीवार, वो सिगरेट पीना, गली में जाके, वो करना दांतों को घड़ी घड़ी साफ, पहुंचना कॉलेज हमेशा लेट, वो कहना सर का get out from the class, वो बाहर जाके हमेशा कहना यहाँ का सिस्टम ही है खराब, वो जाके कैंटीन में टेबल बजा के वो गाने गाना यारों के साथ, बस यादें 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 रह जाती है, कुछ छोटी छोटी बातें रह जाती है, बस यादें 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 रह जाती है, कुछ छोटी छोटी बातें रह जाती है, बस यादें। वो पापा का डांटना, वो कहना मम्मी का छोड़े जिया, तुम्हें तो बस नजर आता है जहां में बेटा मेरा ही खराब, वो दिल में सोचना करके कुछ दिखा दे, वो करना प्लानिंग रोज नई यार, लड़कपन का वो पहला प्यार, वो लिखना हाथों पे A+R, वो खिड़की से झांकना, वो लिखना लेटर उन्हें बार बार, वो देना तोहफे में सोने की बालियां, वो लेना दोस्तों से पैसे जाती है, बस यादें 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 रह जाती है, कुछ छोटी छोटी बातें रह जाती है, बस यादें।